Hey, it's Friday, obviously, and I did a video like this last week, and I mentioned, hey, it's Friday, and then the title of the video was actually the date, which was Thursday, and a couple people noticed that, and of course, I had to explain that I actually did shoot it on Thursday. So I apologize. I could have post-dated the video, but I hate to post-date things. Some people may notice that I've removed a bumper sticker over here, and I've replaced it, as I said I would eventually. I decided to do that now, and I should probably explain that because I do believe that more people are curious as to why it got removed than who were upset by it. I got a grand total of 3 complaints via email. I had a few people ask about it in the comments below the video that I talked about it, but I also did explain it, that it was about a pizza oven controversy that happened in Ohio. And the saying, pizza is not a crime, is from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you look it up, it's also the title of a sub-blog on Boing Boing. They talk about crimes involving pizza, because apparently there's a lot of them, at least enough that they thought it would make a funny subsection. But there, unfortunately, are people out there who can read into things and will get offended by all kinds of stuff. And unfortunately, you can't make everybody happy, which I learned that a long time ago. But the problem, of course, is that if somebody is upset and they become unhinged, that's the problem. So I'm going to tell you an anecdote, which may or may not be true. I don't know. But I remember reading an article a long, long time ago, and they're talking about the idea about how do you solve problems in the business world. In fact, I believe the example was from a business textbook. I have a very, very faint memory of this being in a business textbook. But that could be wrong also. I'm now going all Ronald Reagan on you, just telling you stories that sound so good that we hope they're true. And you'll recall that there was an incident at Kent State. People my age and a little bit older will remember it more vividly than those who simply, read about it in a history book where it was 2 sentences. But there was an incident at Kent State. And in the aftermath of that incident, there was a nearby McDonald's that had a flagpole out front with an American flag on it. And some of the teenage workers at the McDonald's thought we should lower the flag to half staff in honor of some of the victims here. And they lowered the flag to half staff. Well, then some people apparently complained to McDonald's management and said, "Oh, you guys are lowering your flags to half staff to honor those hippies? You guys now support the hippies?" And so an older manager then went out and raised the flag to full staff, which of course now means that everybody who saw it at half staff knows that it is now at full staff, in contradiction to where it was earlier in that day. And now people started screaming and yelling, saying, wait, you can't put it at half staff, then put it at full staff. And so the manager, realizing he can't win here, calls McDonald's headquarters and goes, what should I do? They said, we'll take care of it. And later that day, a vehicle from headquarters came over, pulled into their parking lot, and accidentally backed over the flagpole. And said, we'll pay to put that back up again. Just give us a couple months. And they solved the problem. So I had to do that to solve the problem. So in case you're curious, W4 is WWWW, was a radio station in Detroit in that iteration that played rock and roll music, an album rock station. Famously, it's a station that Howard Stern was the morning man at. And you can see an homage to that in the movie Private Parts, because the station changed to country music. And he got up and left and went to Washington, D.C. I believe he went to D.C. 101. I'm not sure that's the first place he went, but he left Detroit to go to D.C. And then, of course, from there, the rest is history. But WWWW was at 106.7 on the FM dial. And they were a very good rock and roll station. But the problem, of course, is that Detroit at one point in time had 4 rock and roll stations: W4, WRAF, WABX, and WLLZ. Detroit's Wheels 98.7. And I'm very familiar with all of this, because all of this was happening right when I was in high school and early college. And I was thinking about radio, I got into radio, and right around the time I was studying radio, all of this stuff was happening in Detroit, where there's 4 rock and roll stations. And what wound up happening is 3 of them were clustered together in the middle of the dial: 98.7, 99.5, 101.1. And 106.7 was way over here from my perspective, way over there from yours. And in a day of push-button radios and cars, that meant something. Because if you were tuning by hand, you had to go crank the dial a whole bunch of times. And so W4 changed formats and went country. And actually, they did very, very well in the ratings from thereafter. LLZ, which is the fourth of the AOR stations to sign on, actually crushed the other two stations in the ratings. It was an amazing experiment. I've got a very good friend who worked at LLZ when they did this. And they came to Detroit. They were backed by a huge corporation, Doubleday Broadcasting. And they were giving away $1,000 a day just for having us on and playing no commercials. They went commercial free for a year, just burning money. And so they wound up giving $1,000 a day away, playing no commercials, and they just buried the other two stations in the ratings. Eventually, they started playing commercials and stopped giving away the money, but it was crazy. They had like a 15 share, and their nearest competitor in that subgenre of AOR had like a 4 share or a 5 share percentage of the marketplace. So it was crazy. So I've always loved thinking about this, studying this, and hearing about it. I have a lot of friends from Detroit. We talk about this whenever we see these bumper stickers. So I've got the other bumper stickers. I just don't have room up here for all of them. I didn't like it before. I used to tape them here and across here, but it blocks stuff on the shelves. So I'm going to put up 1 or 2 bumper stickers and leave it at that. But getting back to the original bumper sticker that was there up until a couple days ago, there was nothing nefarious about it. But unfortunately, some people see nefarious things everywhere they look. And I've seen comments on my page, on my channel on YouTube, where people say, well, all attorneys, and they'll make some blanket statement. And it's not just all attorneys are mean or all attorneys are stupid, but I've literally seen them where they say all attorneys are Satan worshipers. They're all Satan. That's what they're all Satan worshipers. And I don't know why people say things like that, because do they really think that, like in Michigan, where there's something like 38,000 licensed practicing attorneys, there's 38,000 Satan-worshiping attorneys in the state of Michigan? It seems mathematically improbable. I've never actually met a Satan worshiper. Of course, I'm an attorney, so I would say that. But no, and it's just to me, it's mind-boggling. And so, interestingly, I tried to explain the bumper sticker to a few people, and I even explained it in a video. And I got a lot of comments from people saying, oh, Steve, that makes complete sense. I understand that. I was curious, but now I understand. And I had somebody who just simply refused to believe that. And they actually told me, they said, Steve, you have to understand, in this day and age, the word pizza no longer means a foodstuff. It now means a crime. So I have to ask you, when you're watching TV and Little Caesars comes on and goes, pizza, pizza, do you call up and scream at the TV station? You know, there's a big arena in Detroit where the Red Wings play hockey. It's called Little Caesars Arena. And there they sell pizza by the slice. Pizza, pizza. It's all over the place. I mean, you actually think that word no longer has its primary meaning and now only means what you think it means. And it's strange. It's strange. And I mean, I've actually spent some time Googling this just in case I missed something. I didn't. And I don't know why more people don't Google stuff and try to figure out these things for themselves, because what we're talking about, of course, I'm not going to get too heavily into it, actually goes back 6 or 7 years, and it kind of fallen off the radar. And I was kind of surprised that some people still followed that. But I'm not going to make it sound like it was a flood of complaints. I got three people. And you might say, but Steve, you've gotten complaints before, more than 3 on something. Why would you change a bumper sticker over 3 complaints? Unfortunately, one of the complainants came across as unhinged. So I'm not going to go there. So like McDonald's and the flagpole, I'm not going to back over my set. But I think you get the point. Sometimes you just got to move on. So I got plenty of bumper stickers, plenty of license plates, plenty of knickknacks to put behind me. I'll just keep shuffling through them as I do. But I'm going to let you know right now, probably later today, but at least by tomorrow, I've got a pretty big announcement. Well, some people won't think it's that big of a deal. But involving one of my books. So I'll be talking about that later today or possibly tomorrow when I've got a full confirmation on that. And so that's something to look forward to. Also, since this is Friday, and it actually is legitimately a Friday, I'm pretty sure, although my watch does not have a day on it, only has a date. Pretty sure today's Friday. I'm going to do a live stream most likely on Sunday. And it would probably be again around 1 o'clock Eastern time. I did one last week at that time. We had 700 and some odd people show up. It was a good time. So we'll try to do it again on Sunday, assuming everything lines up in my life. So we'll try to do that as well. Otherwise, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.